Alright, happy Friday everyone. Let's get straight into it. Normally I do stealth commodities, but I want to get straight into this USDJPY short, potential short. Yeah, clean, very clean Model 1. Now price at the time, I have charted this throughout the day today. It did leave this liquidity, hence why I charted that up, and lo and behold, price grabbed it. Now at the time when price was around here, this was when I was charting it. I was pre-planning for a Model 2 with a Wyckoff within Wyckoff local range occurring something like this. Boom, coming back in, and then getting that confirmation and taking a short there, targeting this Asia low here. Something like that, but obviously as you can see, we did not get that confirmation. We actually moved up, continued to move up and created a Model 1 as opposed to a Model 2 with a Wyckoff within Wyckoff. So that's why this range was here, and that's why I'm now deleting it, because it's not of interest. We've grabbed all liquidity that there was to grab. Asia low is below. Context is fairly decent. We're obviously still bullish on the hourly, so just be mindful of that. That was, yeah, our hourly high was there, which has been broken. We are yet to go back to bearish. The one thing I don't like is the break. So in terms of where can market structure break, we've already broken, I think it was on the 2 minute. My next, my level 2 market structure break, if you will be here on the 5 minute. So I will monitor this 5 minute low to see if I can get an entry. Which if I do, it's pretty much going to happen on the open by the looks of it. So yeah, that is my 5 minute low, but then yeah, you will notice if we zoom in that price has already broken structure on the 2 minute right here. Valid 2 minute market structure break here, but the only thing I didn't like about this is the fact that it's leaving some very small buy side liquidity above, as you can see here. From this high, just all the way down this little curve right here. This is buy side liquidity, and it's valid buy side liquidity. So price is allowed to come up and sweep it all. This is decent liquidity, but a thing that is in favor of us, or that favors us, is how it's actually also left some supply here. Valid supply. Now, yes, it's been ever so slightly mitigated, but it is still a valid supply. POI this. But yeah, if we do break convincingly on the 5 minute, then I will look to size in slowly. And yes, target that Asia low, of course. Obviously the first break, just be aware. The first break was actually just outside our range values, so it's above tap 2. We want, from a Model 1 perspective, our break to be below tap 2. So obviously this 5 minute low is perfectly below our second tap, but this 2 minute break of structure was above our second tap, so not as safe. Let me chart, or let me quickly plot our points here, just from a visual, for easier visual representation. And yeah, now essentially all I'm going to do is wait for a break of structure, and ideally I'd like to catch a pullback. It's still, the risk to reward's still great, don't get me wrong. Okay, we have a beautiful 6.15 risk to reward, but if we can catch a slight pullback, even as slight as it going up to this supply POI, then we've gone from a 6.15 to a close to a 10 realistically. But yeah, let's see what happens. I'm going to quickly get my position size calculator up, which I like to use. London session has officially begun, as we've just ever so slightly front ran the sorry, no, London session is in half an hour. As we've just ever so slightly front ran the the low there. Okay, position size would be around 3.715. If we enter where I've plotted this. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how we reject from this POI though. Because yeah, there is liquidity above, as I have said. I'm also gonna just put a marker there that shows me if we've gone over. And yeah, that is USDJPY for today. So we'll keep an eye on this, especially as London opens in about 27 minutes. Looking at gold, we've got a Model 1, a confirmed Model 1 potentially going into a Model 2. It is in an awkward spot, as you can see on the chart. We've only just recently rejected from supply, but we have, in the sense of rejected, we have closed quite deep in. So we can expect, as happened many times before, and I have journaled this, where we close deep, pull back, and then there's a little local accumulation somewhere in here, and then we continue going higher, just because of the because you have to go lower from a temporary rejection of supply. So very rarely would price go straight through, but it normally just likes to reject, and then we can catch that little reaccumulation post rejection and continue going higher. The hourly is obviously still bullish, so that's just something to be aware of. And the only thing I don't like about this whole model is that there's no real POI that we can accumulate from here. And yeah, you will see that there's just no clean POI. There's a very clean POI below, which has technically been mitigated because the overlapping demand has been mitigated. So this greater demand POI isn't as relevant to us anymore. But yeah, in terms of now I looked into this morning, and there was no real clean extended POI from a extended fourth tap perspective. Yes, this was confirmed, and then if we could have taken this, then great. Personally, just the context that this was in, or the timing that this was in, I was not able to take it. I would have been asleep. But yeah, nevertheless, there may be an opportunity for a fourth tap. You'll see when I zoom in now, there's no clean extreme liquidity POI outside of this, and which I've marked it. Like, this is just a bit too deep for it to be an extreme liquidity POI, and then I would not be calling this an extreme liquidity POI regardless, because look at the liquidity below here. So this is only, it only makes sense for this to be the extreme liquidity POI. There's no real demand as well below that I would expect to bounce from. So yeah, if you come and sweep this, then perfect. If we don't, we don't. I'm not going to be entering here, unless, of course, we get a local model, which maybe could be found here. What I'm actually going to do is move this ever so slightly. Boom. And we'll see if we can get a very refined model in here. Asia low has been grabbed. Asia high is nicely here. We are bearish on the lower time frame, but we are obviously bullish on the higher time frame. But just based on what I'm seeing now, is this might get invalidated because we're going pretty high into this local range. We're well into premium, so we'll see if we do go lower. And then from a third tap POI, I'm gonna have to favor a model 1 here as well, because we're just leaving behind sell side liquidity. So I would not trade this from a model 2 perspective, this local model. I would only want to see a model 1. So I need this liquidity to be grabbed if I was to ever trade this. So yeah, that's the pre-planning, and then obviously the ultimate confluence move would be something like, get something like this, come back down, wick there, boom, enter on this, and then you can obviously long the whole thing to range high here. But yeah, let's see if that will happen. That is gold. We've already set our alert here. Not a whole lot more to do. Let's look at silver. Yeah, silver, I'm kind of just looking to see if we do get a better mitigation of this demand. There's nothing really locally for me to do now. There is liquidity above, which I do expect it to get grabbed, but there's no local models forming at the moment that are of interest to me. Oil has grabbed this supply. Same thing, locally speaking, there's not that much that's of any interest to me. Context would not have changed. I've updated my little context table this morning, so it should be pretty accurate. Yeah, just not a lot going on at the moment. We're in somewhat of a demand POI as well. It's not the cleanest demand POI, but it is a demand POI. Yeah, let's move on to Forex, USDJPY. Well, we might get a break here, a pre-London break. It has also mitigated the supply as we've talked about, so I am willing to enter this. Yeah, I'm willing to risk 0.5% on this. We have already grabbed. Yeah, and only 0.5 for the reasons that I have outlined. There is still a little bit of liquidity left, so just be a bit mindful there. Like even this is kind of leaving. It's leaving liquid. It just is leaving liquidity. Also, I've set a limit sell for now. I haven't entered yet. I have set a limit sell at 1.159.465, which is just up here. I will enter with a very small amount, just get some skin in the game. So I've entered with a very small lot size at 159.454, which is just about here. But then I still have my limit sell at exactly 159.465, which is right here. And that gives me a 5.86 risk to reward. It's not the best, not the worst. We do have a slight supply chain which has formed here, so that is it's not the worst indicator. Yeah, so my my limit sell is still yet to be filled. I will set an alert of where it is at. All right, let's see where gold is. Okay, so this is an invalid move now on gold. All right, let's keep the ball rolling with Forex. And yeah, this is the other range that we are monitoring. Have we closed? That was the initial SFP. That was the second SFP. So yeah, great spot to short this. We just need to give this quite a bit more time in terms of yeah, this is going to have to be the extreme liquidity POI. which is not the greatest, but it is a extreme liquidity POI. We'll leave this as is. NZD CAD, actually. Yeah, contextual. This one contextually is really, really good for a short. Like, it is just beautiful for a short. So we'll see if we can get it. And this one is contextually decent for a long. So nothing has changed here. I'm still looking for a long. Only thing I don't like is that Asia low is intact and Asia high has been grabbed. So from a one model for life here, this isn't the exact strategy that we trade. So I am already a lot more lenient, or a lot more reluctant to long this, just because Asia high has already been grabbed. Yeah, I'm going to leave this as is. Look, if we get something clean later on, then yeah, potentially, but maybe going into next week. No, actually, the size of the range will not allow us to go into next week for this local model. Yeah, we'll leave this as is, see what happens later down the track. GBP NZD is an interesting one. I think there is also some demand here. Yep, so this is as clean. Yeah, this is as clean of a third type perspective as you will ever get. Because you've got demand and also extreme liquidity right here. So this is easy for us to monitor. Like, it's simple of, if we get the confirmations, yes. If we don't, no. Obviously, we still need a great return to zone as well. So yeah, maybe this one we can get some sort of confirmation to next week. We'll see. We'll see. This is a higher time frame range, so a lot can happen here. Definitely wouldn't be looking to trade this today. But I will move it up, however. USD CHF is, yeah, very much so still bullish. Not much I am willing to do here, to be honest. I'd rather just wait until this liquidity gets grabbed and see what happens. Euro GBP. Given we are bullish, it might be worth directing our attention to a potential accumulation range forming here, which can happen. So something like this. Boom, boom, boom. And then obviously this is our range. But yeah, only time's going to tell for this one. So we've got our alerts from a distribution perspective, and then we've also got our alerts from an accumulation perspective. But yeah, I do, especially with the context, I'm favoring an accumulation here more so. And I probably favor an accumulation as of now, really. But locally, not a lot going on at the moment for Euro GBP, so let's just be patient and see what happens. Let's see what silver's doing before we go on to USD CAD. and gold. Okay, gold has grabbed Asia high, and silver has absolutely exploded and grabbed the liquidity. There you go. Boom. This is really good opportunity for it to dump because it's grabbed a lot of sells and a lot of stop losses. Yep. All right. We have discussed Euro GBP. We'll leave this as is. All right, let's look at USD CAD. So yeah, as you can see here, just based on how we've got our EQ, it's not exactly a confirmed range just yet, so don't let that fool you. USD CAD. Still bullish. Not a whole lot to really chart just yet. Yeah, I'd rather just be a bit patient and see what happens. Even locally, there's not a whole lot going on. Maybe a local scalp, if anything. So the demand is valid, but yeah, the price action isn't. No, this is not clean price action. Or not clean. It might be clean price action. It's not how we want price action to be for our ranges. Let's look at AUD USD. So yeah, I think we're still in the process of SFPing the daily high. We are. So that close will be important. So we'll have to come back to this on the weekend to see how it closed. Not a whole lot for me to do for AUD USD just yet. We're at two crucial POIs, the daily high and supply, heavy supply. So let's see what price does before doing anything else. Euro USD is still bearish on the 1 and the 4. Not a whole lot for me to do just yet. I'm just going to leave this as is. Yeah, we'll just leave our attention to demand below, supply above. Keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it. GBP USD. We have ever so slightly mitigated this demand, but or maybe we front run it. No, we have ever slightly so mitigated it, but we need a deep mitigation of this, so I will leave this demand up. Contextually, still bearish on the hour. Still bearish on the 4. I'm happy to look at this for now as a potential distribution POI. It's not the cleanest. It's obviously not going to get confirmed today, but it's something that we can look at later on. Do you want to double check that this supply is clean? It's not the cleanest. It's got liquidity. I'm not gonna use this on my chart. I'm just gonna leave this as is. Look at AUD CHF. yeah, still fairly bullish. Weekly is still bearish, I think. Yes, but this is also going to be an important close. If we close, we just need to close above. Yeah, if we close the way we close now above this, then we're going to be fine. We're going to be bullish, so then we can change the whole weekly context to bullish as well, and therefore this is going to be all of a sudden it already is quite a bullish pair. So regardless, we're pretty much bullish all around. Just not the weekly for now, but we're not too far away from being bullish on the weekly as well. So given that, this is a very powerful demand POR right here. Not a whole lot to do just yet though. Patience. Euro NZD. Still bearish. Yeah, not much to do, and I did look at this supply this morning. It's not valid, so there's just not a whole lot to do for Euro NZD just yet. GBP AUD, same thing. Where was the daily low? Okay, daily low is there. So I would still focus on accumulations here, but there's just nothing happening at the moment. AUD CAD. We've grabbed all that liquidity. Very, very bullish pair. So just be patient. Don't try and short anything. Wait for these demands to get hit. That's it for my update for today. I'll have one more look at silver. You know what? Based on this chart and the liquidity below, I am willing to look at a short of counter context local scalp. To be fair, it's not really local, it's fair, it's on the 4-hour time frame here. But yeah, let's see what happens. We have created demand below, so we're obviously going to need that demand to be mitigated first and foremost. Clean liquidity below here, these lows. That is as clean liquidity as you can get. But yeah, I'm just going to chart this for the sake of it, and we'll see. We're in a good spot for a local pullback. You've got supply above, you've got liquidity below. Why not temporarily pull back? So let's see what happens. And then yeah, the USDJPY short, which we're in, but very low lot size. So I am kind of hoping for a temporary pullback so that my limit sell can get activated, if you will. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. If we do grab Asia low, then I'm going to remove my limit sell. I'll be monitoring it regardless. If we all of a sudden expand up quite a bit, then yes, I will take the limit sell off and wait for a break of structure. But if we're just slowly moving up and yet to grab Asia low, then I'm just going to leave my limit sell up there because I will expect a rejection as we're in a already confirmed model. So that is that. Yeah, and same thing, if you guys do watch this and you have not entered yet, keep in mind that as of now, or as of when this video is updated, I still have a limit sell ready to go in this exact position at 159.465. So monitor it yourselves and see if you can potentially also limit enter around the same area, given we get a slow move back up, creating a return to zone and then a rejection. So yeah, let's see what happens. And that is it for today. Thank you all for listening, for viewing. Subscribe if you have made it this far. Hopefully you are enjoying my content and you're getting value from it, because that's my main goal, provide as much value as I can. And yeah, stay ready, stay disciplined, and I'll see you all soon. Peace.